Here are the top stories for today, April 21, 2020. Malacanang says the order for the military to strictly implement the enhanced community quarantine should not be compared to martial law. The palace hits the New People's Army for its lack of sincerity in declaring a ceasefire amid the COVID-19 pandemic. The Office of Civil Defense denies social media posts saying medical supplies against COVID-19 are for sale. And U.S. President Donald Trump offers additional aid for the Philippines to fight COVID-19. Good day, I'm William Theo. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. President Rodrigo Duterte has yet to issue any order for the military to implement a stricter implementation of the enhanced community quarantine in Luzon and some parts of Visayas and Mindanao. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque made this clarification after an internal memo of the Philippine Air Force advising troops to prepare for strict implementation of extensive enhanced community quarantine was leaked. Roque said it was only natural for the military to prepare to enforce an extensive ECQ upon the president's orders, and this should not be likened to martial law. He said the president will not think twice about letting the military take over since it is allowed under the 1987 Constitution. President Duterte is expected to decide on whether to extend or modify the ECQ within the week. Irresponsible beneficiaries of the Social Amelioration Fund may face disqualification on the second round of distribution. Senator Christopher Lawrence Bongo gave this warning on Monday following reports that some beneficiaries are using their money to buy illegal drugs while some are reportedly engaging in cockfighting. Go advised recipients to spend the government aid conscientiously. He reminded the public that the national government is struggling to allocate funds just to help individuals heavily affected by the ECQ. Moreover, Go lauded the positive response of the executive branch for more support to the middle class amid the ongoing crisis. The government will soon release the approved guidelines for the implementation of the Small Businesses Wage Subsidy Program to help micro, small, and medium enterprises. Each eligible worker belonging to the low to medium middle class under the identified affected business will be provided with a wage subsidy between 5,000 to 8,000 pesos, which will run for 2 months unless the enhanced community quarantine is lifted earlier. The Social Security system will be accepting applications until April 30. The Department of Social Welfare and Development agreed to the suggestion to post the names of Social Amelioration Program or SAP beneficiaries in visible places in the barangays. This is to promote transparency in giving assistance to 18 million poor families. In a press briefing on Monday, DSWD Undersecretary for Special Concerns Camilo Gudmalin thanked the Department of the Interior and Local Government for initiating the posting of the SAP recipients for transparency. Gudmalin said this initiative from the DILG would also help the public report to the authorities if ever there are ineligible beneficiaries who are included in the list. The DILG has directed punong barangays to post the list of target beneficiaries after receiving complaints that some beneficiaries are on the list but not qualified to receive assistance. The Department of Information and Communications Technology is finalizing an app that will speed up the distribution of financial aid, and the Education Department drafts a learning continuity plan for students. More on these and other news around the metro from Teresa Montemayor.
The Department of Information and Communications Technology, or DICT, is finalizing the computer-based application Relief Agad to expedite the distribution of cash assistance under the government's various social amelioration programs, or SAP. The DICT is in the process of completing the requirements for the implementation of Relief Agad to fast-track the disbursement of the SAP's allowances and to alleviate the impact of the coronavirus disease 2019 pandemic. Among the SAPs currently being implemented are the Assistance to Individuals in Crisis Program of the DSWD, the COVID-19 Adjustment Measures Program or CAMP for Affected Formal Workers, the CAMP Abot Kamay at Pagtulong for Displaced Overseas Filipino Workers, Tulong Panghanap Buhay para sa Ating Disadvantaged Displaced Workers or TUPAD of DOLE, and the Financial Subsidy for Rice Farmers of the Department of Agriculture. The Philippine Institute for Development Studies is also currently providing local government units with community-based monitoring system data to generate the list of households eligible to receive assistance from the government's SAPs and other local safety nets. Meanwhile, the Department of Education is preparing a learning continuity plan for the upcoming school year amid the country's fight against the coronavirus disease 2019 pandemic. DepEd Undersecretary Nepomuceno Malaluan said the learning continuity plan may not include the mass testing for learners and teachers, as suggested by Senator Sherwin Gatchalian, saying the Department of Health should be consulted first on Gatchalian's suggestion. He said DepEd Secretary Leonor Briones intends to present the proposal to the Interagency Task Force on the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases and to the public at the right time. There are more than 27 million learners and over 800,000 public school teachers nationwide. In other news, Metro Manila police officers, especially those deployed in frontline duties, will undergo a mental health wellness program. NCRPO Chief Major General Debold Sinas said the program, which will be conducted by its health service, aims to closely monitor the psychological condition of every personnel. Last week, a police officer from the Regional Police Mobile Force Battalion was shot dead by a distressed fellow police officer who was undergoing therapy for depression. The case is currently under investigation. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Teresa Montemayor.
Still to come, Malacanang hits the new People's Army for its lack of sincerity in declaring a ceasefire amid the COVID-19 pandemic. The Office of Civil Defense denies social media posts saying medical supplies against COVID-19 are for sale. More on these when the PNA Newsroom continues.
Kakagaling ko lang ng grocery. Siyempre, hindi ko hahayaan na pumasok ang COVID-19 sa bahay at mapahamak ang pamilya ko. Kaya iiwan ko ang sapatos ko sa labas. At ngayon, maghuhugas ako ng kamay ng 20 seconds. O ayan, wala na ang virus. Tandaan, buhay ng pamilya natin na nakasalalay. Let's heal as one.
Alam niyo ba na pumapasok ang COVID-19 sa ating katawan sa pamamagitan ng mata, ilong at bibig? Kaya lagi kaming conscious dito sa bahay kapag umuubo kami. Lagi kami naghuhugas ng kamay in 20 seconds. Pag lumalabas kami, lagi namin suot ang mask. Lagi lang natin tatandaan mga mamshi. Buhay ng pamilya natin ang nakasalalay dito. Let's heal as one.
Alamin ang tamang paraan ng pag-ubo upang mapigilan ang paglaganap ng coronavirus disease 2019. Ugaliing magdala ng panyo o tissue. Kung uubo o babahing, takpan ang buong ilong at bibig gamit ang panyo o tissue. Kung walang dalang panyo o tissue, maaaring gamitin ang braso na pantakip. Kung nakararamdam na kailangan umubo o bumahing, agad na dumistansya sa mga tao sa paligid. Huwag dumura kung saan-saan, gumamit ng tissue at itapon sa basurahan. Ugaliin ang paghuhugas ng kamay at paggamit ng alcohol o hand sanitizer upang mamatay ang mikrobyo. Basta't sama-sama at laging handa, kaya natin to! Isang paalala mula sa DOH, PCOO, KBP at ng himpilang ito.
Malacanang on Monday said atrocities committed by the New People's Army show that they are not sincere in declaring a ceasefire during the enhanced community quarantine. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque made this comment amid the growing recommendations to President Duterte to terminate the ceasefire with the CPP-NPA amid series of violations. Roque was referring to the March 29 incident where one soldier and another NPA rebel were reportedly killed during a firefight in Rodriguez, Rizal. Reports also showed that NPA guerrillas allegedly snatched food packs from Gin Maayohan village officials in Balanghiga, Eastern Samar last April 7. Communist guerrillas also reportedly killed Wilson Esta Behing, a member of the Manobo tribe in San Miguel, Surigao del Sur, while he was tending his farm and was unarmed on April 14. Roque earlier said it is up to the National Task Force on Ending Local Armed Conflict, or NTF-LCAC, to discuss the ceasefire with President Duterte. Malacanang on Monday vowed to pursue justice for the bereaved families of 11 soldiers and 14 others wounded in a clash with the Abu Sayyaf group in Patikul, Sulu last Friday, April 17. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque earlier condemned the attack, stressing how enemies of the state choose no date and occasion in attacking government troops. Chief Presidential Legal Counsel Salvador Panelo also extended condolences to the soldiers' families. Panelo described the firefight as barbaric and deliberate acts of cruelty. The Supreme Court on Monday directed first and second level courts to conduct an inventory of pending criminal cases and determine if any persons deprived of liberty are entitled to be released. According to Court Administrator Jose Maidas Marquez, there is a need to effectively implement existing policies, considering the continuing congestion of detention facilities nationwide and the consequent high risk of persons deprived of liberty being affected with COVID-19. Marquez directed the lower courts to immediately act motu proprio, or on their own without a motion from a party, on cases of PDLs who have been detained for a period of at least equal to the minimum penalty for the offense charged. They may release such detainees on their own recognizance, provided the court is assured of where the accused can be located while their cases are ongoing trial. He said judges may apply provisions on the electronic transmission of release orders. The Department of Health has converted a tuberculosis laboratory in Cagayan de Oro to increase testing capacities for COVID-19. More on this and other news from the provinces from Teresa Montemayor.
The Department of Health in Region 10 said Monday it has begun converting a laboratory for tuberculosis study into a testing facility for the 2019 coronavirus disease. The testing facility is undergoing renovation in time for the delivery of testing equipment for suspected COVID-19 cases. The lab renovation at the DOH 10 Regional Office is expected to have further use beyond the COVID-19 crisis. In Cotabato City, a frontliner physician on Monday said there have been no new reported COVID-19 cases in the city since last month. Dr. Faisal Samanodi at the Cotabato Regional and Medical Center said the feat could be attributed to the timely lockdown in interior areas which was imposed by the city government. Samanodi said health frontliners who have been working round the clock are hopeful that no new cases would emerge. He also appealed to the public to stay at home for everyone's safety. Meanwhile, a state-of-the-art mobile field hospital was assembled at the compound of the Bataan General Hospital and Medical Center to serve as holding area for patients suspected of being infected with COVID-19. The portable medical facility called Blue Med Medical Shelter is transferable and can serve as an isolation center for suspected COVID-19 cases. The tent has a negative pressure capability with a capacity of 20 beds. As of 6 p.m. Sunday, the Provincial Health Office said the number of confirmed COVID-19 cases in the area rose to 81. In other news, Central Visayas has 190 confirmed cases of COVID-19 as of Monday. The data on confirmed cases show the number has almost doubled since April 15. Cebu City had 2 more patients positive for COVID-19 on Sunday, bringing the total number of cases in the city to 165. Siquijor remains to have no documented case of the viral infection in the region. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Teresa Montemayor.
The Office of Civil Defense on Monday denied social media posts claiming that personal protective equipment sets and supplies needed by medical personnel in containing the COVID-19 outbreak are for sale. OCD Administrator Ricardo Halad said the agency strongly condemns disinformation which aims to advance a personal interest. Halad assured the public that donations and other procured items by the government are being received by the intended beneficiaries. He added that all equipment sets are being distributed directly to various health institutions. However, Halad said if the agency discovers any irregularities, it assures the public of appropriate action towards people involved as well as appropriate charges if warranted. Meanwhile, he said the agency has launched a sector for COVID-19 donations on its website in which the public can access the list and other further details of donations. In our business news, the Department of Finance has further extended deadlines to submit or file necessary documents or pay taxes following President Duterte's extension of the enhanced community quarantine period in Luzon until April 30. For example, the filing and payment of annual income tax returns has been pushed down to May 30 from the earlier extended deadline of May 15. The deadline for taxpayers to avail of the tax amnesty on delinquencies has been moved from April 23 to June 8. This gives taxpayers ample time to settle their tax delinquencies while allowing the Bureau of Internal Revenue to increase its collection from the tax amnesty program. Furthermore, applications for a new authority to print receipts or invoices is extended until 13th of May 2020 or for 30 calendar days after the lifting of the ECQ. If the ECQ is further extended, the date shall be 30 days after the last day of the ECQ. Up next, U.S. President Donald Trump offers additional aid for the Philippines to fight COVID-19. And a tribute for COVID-19 frontliners goes viral on social media. The PNA Newsroom returns after these reminders.
Mga mommies, pagdating sa COVID-19, dapat hindi tayo kampante. Bagamat hindi nakikita ang sakit na ito ay nakamamatay. At hanggang ngayon wala pa rin lunas. Kaya protektahan natin ang ating pamilya. Laging maghugas ng kamay, huwag hahawakan ng mukha, at manatili sa bahay para makaiwas sa sakit na ito. Tandaan, buhay ng pamilya natin ang nakasalalay dito. Let's hear this one.
Hi, Caps! Kamusta?
Well, ito dahil sa COVID-19, medyo stress.
Okay lang yan, Caps. Napagdaanan ko din yan.
Ano kaya pwede natin gawin, no?
Kung nararamdaman mo na gulong-gulo ka na sa mga naririnig mo, sa mga nababasa mo, mag-pause ka muna, saka ka huminga ng malalim.
Buti na lang tumawag ka. Iba talaga pag may nangangamusta.
A strong body starts with a strong mind.
Tama. Let's heal as one.
Tandaan ang tamang paraan ng paghuhugas at paglilinis ng kamay upang makaiwas sa iba't ibang karamdaman. Basain ng tubig ang mga kamay at sabunin. Unang sabunin ang mga palad at ang likod ng mga kamay. Kuskusin na maigi ang pagitan ng mga daliri at maging ang mga kuko. Isunod ang pagitan ng mga hinlalaki at kuskusin ng paikot ang mga dulo ng mga daliri sa magkabilang palad. Banlawang mabuti ang mga kamay sa malinis na tubig at patuyuin ang mga kamay gamit ang single-use towel o air dryer. Basta't sama-sama at laging handa, kaya natin to! Isang paalala mula sa DOH, PCOO, KBP at ng himpilang ito.
U.S. President Donald Trump has offered additional assistance to the Philippines in its fight to contain the spread of the coronavirus disease 2019 during a phone conversation with President Rodrigo Duterte on Sunday. In a statement, the U.S. Embassy in Manila on Tuesday said both leaders agreed to continue working together as longtime allies to defeat the pandemic, save lives, and restore global economic strength. During the call, Trump also expressed condolences for the death of 11 soldiers recently killed while fighting Abu Sayyaf terrorists in Sulu. The two leaders discussed how the Philippines and the United States can continue building upon its strong and enduring economic, cultural, and security ties binding the two nations. Since the COVID-19 outbreak, the United States has committed a total of $4 million in health assistance to the Philippine government. In our foreign news, the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank Group have called on countries to keep trade open as the world battles the COVID-19 pandemic. In a virtual presser, IMF chief economist Gita Gopinath said this is not a time to restrict the trade of medical supplies and essential equipment around the world. Kenneth Kang, deputy director of the Asia and Pacific Department at the IMF, said countries should cooperate to reduce tariff and non-tariff barriers and to strengthen global supply chains as recovery takes hold. World Bank President David Malpass, meanwhile, said big countries need to step forward and pledge not to use the crisis as a reason to close or block the markets. Aditya Matu, chief economist at the World Bank, noted the export restrictions would hit those countries who rely on badly needed medical supplies. The IMF and World Bank's advocacy for free trade came as protectionist sentiments grow across the globe amid the pandemic. The UP National Institutes for Health will start the distribution of locally produced test kits for COVID-19 within the week. In a virtual briefing, DOH Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergeres said selected hospitals will be given the UP-NIH test kits. Vergeres added that the 1,300 real-time polymerase chain reaction tests can perform 26,000 COVID-19 tests. To ensure the safety and protection of healthcare workers nationwide, Vergeres said the DOH would continue with the delivery of procured personal protective equipment. The expected equipment include 300,000 N95 face masks, 18,000 coveralls, over 26,000 goggles, and 500 non-contact infrared thermometers. To date, there are 17 laboratories certified by the DOH to perform COVID-19 tests. To boost morale in the fight against COVID-19, the Department of Agriculture in Region 10 has distributed about 10,000 balut eggs to health workers and other frontliners for them to cook and eat. Rechi Paculba has the story.
10,000 balut eggs were distributed by the Department of Agriculture or DA10 in partnership with San Miguel Foods Incorporated to frontliners from the Philippine National Police or PNP Region 10, Northern Mindanao Medical Center or NMMC, Department of Health and Philippine Information Agency.
Nahitabo ni tungod sa ato ang linkage and coordination with the company, pinaagi sa atong Regional Executive Director, si Director Carlene Collado. Ang San Miguel naghatag sa ato og 10,000 ka balot Pinoy nga itlog para ipanghatag sa atong mga frontline personnel sa Department of Agriculture. Pero nakita namo nga dapat amo pud ning i-share sa uban nga member sa Interagency Task Force sa Northern Mindanao, mao na nga out of the 10,000 nga itlog nga among nadawat, ang 5,000 among gi-share sa other agencies.
The 34,000 worth of balut eggs were boiled at the DA10 compound so the frontliners can immediately eat such upon receipt. DA10 gave out 1,700 eggs to PNP Region 10, 200 to Opson of DOH 10, 600 to NMMC, and 30 to Philippine Information Agency.
Nagpapasalamat po ang kapulisan sa paghatag sa balot na ito. Ito po ay malaking tulong para sa mga frontliner natin. Nakita naman po natin na 24/7 ang duty nila.
About 5,000 eggs were distributed to the agency's frontliners and partner agencies in Bukidnon. For the PNA Newsroom, Rechi Paculba, Philippine Information Agency, Cagayan de Oro.
A music video, it's making its rounds on social media as a tribute to our frontliners in the fight against COVID-19. The song entitled Kaya Natin Ito was written and produced by Representative Ronnie Ong of Ang Provinciano Party List. It was composed by OPM artist H. Abando and sung by Yasi Pressman. The song is intended to uplift our health workers and other frontline workers in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. The music video is posted on Monday in Ong's Facebook page with over 40,000 views and 1,300 likes as of Tuesday. Here is a portion of the song.
Kami kasama nyo, bawat Pilipino, nagkakaisang niligtas, mahal nating Pilipinas, kaya natin ito. Kaya natin ito. Kami kasama nyo, bawat Pilipino, nagkakaisang niligtas, mahal nating Pilipinas, kaya natin ito. Kaya natin ito. Kaya natin ito. Kaya natin ito.
Let's take another look at today's biggest stories. Malacanang says the order for the military to strictly implement the enhanced community quarantine should not be compared to martial law. The palace hits the New People's Army for its lack of sincerity in declaring a ceasefire amid the COVID-19 pandemic. The Office of Civil Defense denies social media posts saying medical supplies against COVID-19 are for sale. And U.S. President Donald Trump offers additional aid for the Philippines to fight COVID-19. Thank you for watching another episode of the PNA Newsroom. To check out more news content, check our webpage or head onto the Philippine News Agency's Facebook and Twitter accounts. For more stories about the government and how it serves Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all of our social media platforms and websites. We are shown on the pages of the PCOO and its attached agencies. Also, watch us on television on PTV4 and IBC 13. And that's your daily dose of the biggest stories that you need to know. From the PNA Newsroom, I am William Theo. Good day, and everyone, please stay at home.